We all know what time it is. Cameras and Coffee Monday morning vlog number like 6 or something right now. This is one of the things I've decided to do because of the whole, shelter in place deal that we're dealing with around the world right now. I'm just adding an extra video of content for you guys to have basically something to do. The people that can't get out of the house, just trying to do a little something extra, So with that, let's get into this. As an aside, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe is right down there, and if you get to the end of this video and you liked it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. So, first thing I want to talk about, I had a Yongno YN560 Mark III Speedlight, and I used it a lot. It's a full manual Speedlight, and once you learn how to work with a Speedlight, it's not a big deal to use a manual Speedlight. You just, you get your camera exposed for the background, then you just take some test shots and add fill flash with your Speedlight till it illuminates your subject like you want, and off you go to the races. Well, it worked pretty good for a couple of years, and I've learned in my 50 nearly 1 years of time on this rotating mud ball flying through space that if you store your Speedlights with the batteries in them, the batteries will corrode and ruin your Speedlight. So I was real diligent, and I made sure I took the batteries out of the Speedlight when I stored it. That way it wouldn't corrode the contacts. Well, I got it out about 3 weeks ago to try and do a project with it. I was going to do some flash photography and put batteries in it, juiced it up, wouldn't juice up. Went and got my SB700 Speedlight. I got a Nikon SB700 as well. Dropped the same batteries in it, powered right up, worked perfectly. So it wasn't the batteries. And I messed with it. When I was using it before I put it away, it got to where it would be problematic about powering up. Now, once it came on, it would work perfectly, but getting it to come on was kind of a problem. So what I finally decided to do was get rid of that thing and get me a new Speedlight. So I got this. This is the Godox AD200 Pro. Now, they don't call this a Speedlight, they call this a pocket flash. I have yet to open this box. It came in the other day, and I've kind of been excited to play with it, but I wanted to do it on camera. This is not a current release. These things have been out for a while. I did a few Google searches, read a bunch of the Amazon reviews. This is a really nice general purpose flash. It's not like one of those, it's not like an Einstein with a big battery pack, but it's like halfway between a Speedlight and one of those. You get 200 watt seconds is what the 200 means, to where like a Speedlight will be about 50 to 75. This is 200. Plus it has 2 different heads in the box. You get the Fresnel head plus the bare bulb head. Now I don't have any of those little reflectors that go on this, but I did buy this kit. This is the softbox kit, because for like $20 more or whatever, it wasn't much over the price. Oh, and it did come with this little poppy on the top diffuser thingy taped to the box, but it's got the like a Bowen's mount kind of deal so that you can stick the Speedlight on it and mount it on a light stand, and then you have this instant together. It's a really easy to assemble softbox that goes with it. Then of course, not wanting to fight radio transmitters, I went old school and got a legit sync cable. Because what I've got is I got a project coming up that needs 2 lights, and I could do it like Savante did in his video and do multiple shots and then combine them later, but I already have an SB700, and that one will generate enough light from one side, and I wanted to get a light that would be strong enough that I could use it outdoors, because I always had trouble getting enough power out of a Speedlight because to overpower the sun, to use the sun like as a rim light. So I wanted something a little more powerful for those kind of shots, and that's kind of held me back from doing that kind of photography, because a Speedlight struggles to overcome the sun. You have to run it wide open, as powerful as it'll go, and then the recycle time is terrible, and so I wanted to get something a little hotter. So I got an AD200 Pro. Okay, You can have this light basically by 3 different people now. Now that Godox has launched theirs, you can get one by Geekphoto, and it's not as powerful as the Godox, but it's close. And then you've got the AD200 Pro by Godox, and then you have one I think by like Flashpoint. That's like the same light, but under a different name. It's like rebranded. Okay, you open it up. They got a bunch of literature. Let's get all the literature out. And one of them little things you ain't supposed to eat. All right. And then the flash is in yet another box. It's one of those Russian doll puzzles. All right, let's see here. Unzipping the case reveals a really nicely laid out kit. Look at that. It's got a little zipper pocket to store some crap in the lid. You got the battery charger. It's in here. And then let's see here. You have, that's the battery. There's your bare bulb head. Wow, boy, that's a xenon flash tube. No wonder. Wow. And then there's cords. What's this thing? Oh, it's a light stand mount. Okay. For just the light, if you didn't want to run the adapter, I guess. And then this, oh, that's your bare bulb mount head. You have to put this on the light itself. Then, of course, you have the light. Supposedly, you mash this little button and it allows you to change the heads. Yeah. And then you can stick the bare bulb head on it. I wonder if it's got any juice in the battery. Let's drop it in here. Okay. Power. Which one's the power button? That one is. It just made the sound. Boy. Let's see here. Mode. Manual. 256 power. Yep. Works right out of the box. I just wanted to share with you the new light I picked up. I'm gonna try and get some photos, maybe a little video footage of the project I'm working on. But yeah, this goes on that project. Plus, it gives me an external speed light that'll basically be able to compete against the sun. There we go. I want to say that the photo submissions from last week were incredible. Those wide angle photos were awesome. I really had a lot of fun shooting with my 20mm all week. I used it pretty much all week on the Z6. And I found out that the Nikon F to Z adapter, the one with the little electronics in it, when you take the AFD lenses and you dial them around to minimum aperture, with like f16 or 22 or whatever it is on the particular one, like this lens here, it's got this little function. It's got this switch on the aperture, and you switch that switch. If you close the aperture all the way down and then throw this switch, it trips a little cam with that tab of plastic on the F to Z adapter, and that gives the Z6 aperture control of these old AFD lenses. Now, you still manual focus them, but the camera will control the aperture. Plus, it'll record the aperture's EXIF data accurately to the file instead of just showing 0.0 because you're running, this thing. I got this one mainly for the old pre-AI and AIS lenses and stuff, not these more advanced lenses. But yeah, I found it. If you look on here it is. Here's the F to Z. If you look right here on the adapter, there's a little tiny cam, and that plastic tooth engages that cam and tells it that it's in auto aperture mode, and it'll feed that information to the camera, and the camera can stop the aperture down. You can just dial it in just like it was a Z series lens. Now, don't forget, this week's challenge is long exposure, and it has to be 2 seconds or longer. 2 seconds or longer on the exposure time. This was given to me by a viewer the week we decided to do the wide angle. He said, why don't we do a long exposure wide angle? Well, let's ease into that. Let's just do long exposure and 2 seconds or longer on the exposure time. Now, it doesn't matter how you get there. If you don't have an ND filter and you have to stop it down, if you have to wait till it's dark outside, whatever you got to do your 2 second or longer exposure, and send that to the email in the description. So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer. I really appreciate you watching. So if you did like the video, I'd appreciate that thumbs up. And like I said earlier, the subscribe button's down there if you enjoyed my content. And until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later.